Everyone, so in the last video I spoke about water, the importance of watering and irrigation. In today's video I want to talk about weeding. These are some of the most common mistakes I made and people make when they start off farming, so I want to address them so that we have a starting point moving forward, because I learned the lesson, you should learn too. Now, if you're watching for the first time, or you're new to the channel, or you've watched previous videos but haven't subscribed, just subscribe, hit the thumbs up and like, comment if you have comments to share, and let's share ideas in the comment section below. So one of the biggest mistakes I made starting out in agriculture here was weeding. I had a few acres of maize where we bought land and we wanted to put in maize. So we planted our maize fair and fine. We planted longe 5. Already that's a mistake. We spoke about seeds in some of the videos, but I'll talk about seed selection a bit more later. So we planted longe 5 and it was going well until they said it's time to weed. Now I made them stop until I cleared my schedule in order for me to go and watch them weed and supervise. And that was a big mistake. So that delay in weeding caused me a lot of problems because I lost a lot in the field. Now, why is weeding important? It's because the the weeds compete with the nutrients you have. Now, I'm going to show you my landscape here. So these are weeds. None of this is what I want in the garden, right? But if we move, you can see there's a carrot here and there are weeds here. So those weeds grow even faster than the plant you put in the ground. They're more adapted to the landscape. So they grow better and they take up more nutrients than the plants you put in intentionally, which leads to major losses. So weeding on time is very critical. How do you figure out what time is best for weeding? You could always talk to your extension officer, talk to the people supplying you the seeds. Usually 2 to 3 weeks in, weeding starts, and it depends on your location and your field preparation that you did before planting. But weeding is a must. So there are options for weeding. For example, with onions, you could go and buy a chemical and use herbicides. Even with beans, there are herbicides, and maize also has herbicides that you can utilize for weeding. However, things like cabbage, you have to weed by hand. So the larger the space you have, the more labor it will consume. My recommendation is always use as much labor as you can so that you finish the work quickly, right? You don't want to hire one person to weed an acre and they take 2 weeks to complete the task. By the time they finish the whole garden, the side they started with already has weeds. So put in as many people as you can so that the work is completed within 2 to 3 days. And then you can proceed to put your top dressing, your fertilizers, and your spray regimen can continue. But with a delay in weeding, your spray regimen, most of the chemical goes to the weeds. Weeds also have this bad tendency of harboring insects, so they're a good hiding place for insects. So as you spray insecticides, it doesn't help because of the weeds. So if you are to follow any advice that I'm going to give, it's this: weed your gardens quickly, weed early, weed efficiently, and do the right job when it comes to weeding. Don't cut costs, don't cut corners on weeding. If you're going to use herbicides, follow the instructions of the herbicide manufacturer. Make sure the weeds are gone in your garden. Don't delay and don't waste time. It can really affect your end results. So from the maize garden I was talking about, we had planted about an acre and a half or 2 acres, and sadly The results are the saddest I've ever had because of that one. I put it on that one bad move, uh, weeding. So the results were I ended up only getting half a bag of maize from the garden. Of course, there are other things I could have done better, but it was my first try at maize, and I thought of growing the maize organically. So there are a lot of things that I could have done better as a farmer, but weeding is where I really put most of the blame because I really saw the impact the weeds had on the maize. They stunted the growth of the maize and they affected the maize with disease and insects and so on and so forth. So focus on weeding. That's the purpose of the video. Again, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, follow. I'm constantly going to be producing more videos and sharing more of my insights, my journey into farming, how I started out as a non-professional farmer, and not sharing only the positive results, but also the negatives, sharing all of the experience of a farmer. So I hope this is helpful, and cheers. Good luck. Enjoy your journey as a farmer.